let me ask you something powerful. What's one belief you hold right now that might actually be holding you back from the life you want? Don't answer too quickly, because the answer might just change everything. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down exactly how the beliefs you were raised with, the habits you picked up without realizing it, and the trauma you never healed from are quietly controlling your future. But more importantly, we all grow up absorbing everything around us. From the way our parents speak, to how society rewards or punishes us, to the environment we're placed in. Our subconscious is shaped like clay. But here's the hard truth. Not everything we learned growing up is true. Not everything we learned is healthy, and none of it is permanent. If you were taught that being vulnerable is weak, then you'll wear a mask your whole life. If you were taught that money is evil, you'll subconsciously sabotage your own wealth. If you were never taught how to emotionally regulate, you'll find comfort in self-destruction. We didn't choose these programs, but we are living with their consequences. And that's where responsibility begins. I'll show you how to break free. Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself. It doesn't mean guilt. It doesn't mean shame. It means this. Even if it wasn't your fault, it is now your responsibility. You didn't choose your trauma. You didn't choose to grow up with fear, or with parents who were emotionally unavailable, or in a culture that glorified burnout. But you can choose what you do next. You can choose to stop running from your past and instead face it head on. And when you do, you take back your power. When you do this work, when you face your patterns, heal your wounds, and build new habits, you don't just change your life. You break generational cycles. Let's be honest. Trauma isn't always the big, obvious stuff. Sometimes trauma is subtle. The constant feeling of not being good enough, the fear of expressing yourself, the inability to rest without guilt. Unhealed trauma shows up in how we love, how we argue, how we work, how we treat ourselves. We tell ourselves, that's just how I am, but it's not. It's just how you were programmed. Here's the good news. What was learned can be unlearned. Step 1. Awareness. Identify your patterns. You can't change what you don't see. Start paying attention to your own reactions. Where do you shrink yourself? Where do you feel triggered? Where do you numb out? Every behavior has a root. Trace it. Ask, where did I learn this? Who modeled this for me? Write it down. Make it real. Step 2. Acceptance. Without judgment. This is not the time for self-hate. You didn't choose to be wounded, but you can choose not to stay wounded. Accept your past as a chapter, not a life sentence. This is where healing begins. Step 3. Rewire. Replace the program. Now it's time to reprogram your subconscious. You do this through repetition and environment. Affirmations are powerful, but only if you pair them with action. Visualization helps, but only if you believe you're worthy. New habits stick, but only if you build them into your identity. You can say, I am confident every morning, but if you still hang out with people who tear you down, you're rewiring against your own progress. Environment matters. Daily habits matter. Repetition matters. Most people don't grow because they're more committed to their comfort zone than their future. They want change, but they don't want discomfort. They want healing, but they don't want to revisit the pain. They want results, but they don't want responsibility. Here's the truth. You won't always feel motivated, but you can always choose discipline. You won't always feel ready, but you can still take the step. Here's the formula. 1. Heal. 2. Rewire. 3. Build. That's the roadmap to a new identity. That's the difference between surviving and thriving. Let's get real for a second. This isn't just motivational fluff. This is neuroscience. Your brain has something called neuroplasticity. It means your brain is always adapting. Every time you think a new thought, take a new action, or respond differently, you're literally creating new neural pathways. You can train your brain to stop reacting out of fear and start responding with faith. You can train your mind to stop seeking validation and start moving with purpose. It starts with one habit, one belief, one decision. Let's break it down practically. Here are 5 core habits that will rewire your mind and rebuild your life. Daily reflection. Journal every night. Ask, did I act from fear or from growth today? Mental diet. Cut out toxic media and people. Feed your mind truth, wisdom, and perspective. Emotional check-ins. Learn to name your emotions. Feel them fully. Don't run from them. Self-integrity. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Start small. Build self-trust. Vision practice. See the future version of you and act like them now. You're not waiting to become that person. You are becoming them every time you choose growth over comfort. Growth is uncomfortable, but staying stuck, that's soul-crushing. When you do this work, when you face your patterns, heal your wounds, and build new habits, you don't just change your life, you break generational cycles.